Hello everyone, my name is Hilde, welcome back to my channel. This is actually the third attempt at filming this video because yesterday I was too ill to actually get something coherent together, and today I filmed it and minus one intro clip, well, minus one little clip which I kept on general principle, my file got corrupted, so I think maybe I will film shorter bits now in the hope that it doesn't happen again. But yeah, welcome to this. Is this a podcast? I'm not sure this is a knitting podcast, but I just want to talk about all the stuff I'm knitting, all the stuff I finished, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And maybe some other things along the way. We'll see. My first finished object is not by me. My friend Katrien made this. But look how adorable. It's a wee emotional support chicken. And it's crocheted. I cannot crochet. It just hurts my poor wrist too much. But look at how adorable he is. So yeah, I had to show him off. Because cute. So other than the chicken, which was the only surviving bit of the video I tried to film earlier today, there's a reason why I'm wearing this hat. You know the one. Lots of people have these. They're the sort of woven, cheap witch wizard hat things. You see a lot during the Halloween season. I've got a couple of as well from before I bought actual nice, well, not that this isn't nice, these are really fun and they're kind of cute, but I bought like proper witch hats and stuff that I like feel like is nicer to wear non-stop and also better quality, because the quality on these is not great, but if it's just for like once in a while, it's fine. So witch hats aside, my friend Valentin and I are planning to do like these Lord of the Rings bounds, so to speak, and I'm going to do an outfit based on Gandalf, hence the grey hat, which I already owned. I've had it for like, gosh, maybe nearly 10 years now? A long time. But yeah, so my outfit is going to be based on Gandalf, and my first finished object is the capelet I want to wear. I know Gandalf wears like a full-sized cape, but I kind of don't feel like making one. If I had to knit one, it would take me a whole year, I'm sure. And also, I kind of don't feel like making one because I know I wouldn't get a lot of wear out of it. Whereas these capelets, I have loads. I wear all the time. They're just perfect when it's like a little bit chilly around the house, but not... And it's not cold enough for an actual sweater, but at the same time, it's just too chilly for just your t-shirt. I made it out of 2.5 skeins of onion camel plus merino, I think it was called. And I bought 3 skeins for €3 each at a sales table at my local yarn shop. I think 3 years ago maybe, a long time ago. And initially I thought I wouldn't have enough because yardage wise it would be a little bit shorter, but then I started knitting and I realized I needed to knit it on 5mm needles rather than 4.5, and so I had 20 stitches less than I normally would, and because of that, it kind of just like evened out. And even with the color, I ended up having like about half a skein left. I didn't weigh it, so I'm not sure if it is literally half a skein, but it was a fair amount left. I think I could have made it like 3 rows longer easily, but I'm quite happy with the length. I don't mind if it's like a little bit shorter. It's still super warm. It is not the softest yarn. It feels soft like this, but if you have it against your skin, it's just the littlest bit prickly. I suspect that's the camel, but as I will be wearing this over a long sleeve top, I'm not actually worried about this being itchy at all. And yeah, I really liked it. And the leftover yarn, I'm going to give that to my friend Valentin, and then she can make hair out of it for the little characters she makes out of paper mache. They're so cute. I will have her Instagram up on screen, and I will also have her linked down below so you can check out her art. It's so fun. And Whimsical. I love whimsical things. Speaking of whimsical things, and my friend Valentin, this is a Ripka pouch, and I made it for Valentin, and it's got a googly eye. Well, it's got two googly eyes. There's one on each side. Googly eye buttons. These are not the best quality buttons. 100% would not recommend putting them on clothing. But it's like little details and eyes on fish pouches. A+. And I've got loads, so I'm going to share them with some friends. One of them being Valentin. But yeah, this is 2 strands held together, and one is Merino 400 lace by Line Yarns, and the other one is, if I'm not mistaken, and if I am, I will have it up on screen, and I forgot the name, so I have to put it up on screen anyway. It's got peacock in it, in the name, but I believe it's Manos de Uruguay Fino, and it's a very light fingering weight, so yeah, held together, it was perfect. I knit this on 4mm needles. I think the pattern normally calls for 3.5, but I just follow the pattern with whatever yarn I want to knit a fish with, basically. And the I-cord I made out of some teal Line Yarns Merino 120, and I hope I will now have enough left to knit Valentin an extra pair of arm warmers, because I wanted to do the I-cord out of cotton, but my I-cord maker was not having it at all, and I hate making I-cords. I feel like I say this every video, but I really, really hate it. And yeah, so I ended up grabbing this because I had no teal, and I really wanted it to be fully teal, because look how well that turned out. That's super fun. And speaking of Ripka, I've got another Ripka. The light is a bit bad. It was so much nicer earlier, darn it. But yeah, another Ripka. I made this for a friend. This does have a cotton I-cord, but this is a lighter weight cotton, and that was the first one I made, and I did need to like restart doing it like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, I'm glad I made this one first, because if I tried the teal one first, I wouldn't have been able to make a yellow I-cord, because I don't think I have yellow acrylic left. I might actually do. Anyway, I would have figured something out, but I really like how the yellow sunflowery, very cheerful, sunny matches this much more pastel cotton. This is Rico, I think Lazy Hazy Summer Cotton or something like that. And yeah, I also held 2 strands together of that, and this guy also has googly eyes. But bigger ones, because it's a bigger fish. Believe it or not, these are knit on the same 4mm circular needles, but just different yarns. Obviously, different yarns make different fish, but yeah. Normally it says that it's a DK weight cotton and it goes on 4mm needles, but I'm such a loose knitter that wouldn't have worked out. I wouldn't have had to go down to at least 3.5. But I really like how, because it's quite thick and it's very sturdy, but it's still soft and pleasant. So I really like how this came out. It's such a fun fish. I have so many projects. Kiwi-chan! And soon a kitty, I think. Kiwi, come! Come, ben jij mee op de video? Ja, kom maar. Oh, the honored guest has arrived. Kiwi's here. Voorzichtig, hè? And she's gone already. She's like, no, I've said hello, I'm going. But yeah, so I finished a thing, well, half a thing. I've been trying to knit a shawl, a scarf, not a shawl. A scarf that is basically sleeves. But basically like 2 sleeves in one piece and just 2 cuffs, like each on one end. And I'm not explaining it well, but I saw it on Instagram and I didn't want to buy the pattern. Not because I was like, oh, I can do this myself, but because the pattern had like lots of yarn overs and I-cord detailing. And I was just like, no, I just want it plain. And so I decided to just do it myself because of that. Also, I'm not gonna sell these and I'm not doing the exact same thing. So I figured like it would be okay. Also, I wanted to have this like in like a really fun yarn. And my husband got me 10 skeins of Hobie Universe XL for Christmas. So that's what I used for the main sleeve. And then the cuff I knit in 2 strands held together of Nutedern sock yarn. And this is Neon Neps Apricot. And all the Neon Neps actually light up under UV light, which is super fun. But yeah, so this is half of it. Yay, that's half done. It also took me like forever because initially I ended up with 6 extra stitches, Lord knows how, and I had tried to decrease again, but it showed up so obviously. It went like this and then it went like this. It had like a whole bulge on the side and I was just not having it. Even I, who is generally quite generous and forgiving towards mistakes, even I was like, no, this is unacceptable. So I started over because it was like right at the beginning and I would have been left with like 6 rows anyway. So I was like, I'm just gonna start fully over. And I, of course, did not notice till I was nearly at the cuff on the initial attempt. So it's a very slow going project. I have cast on for the second sleeve. Of course, now that I have figured it all out, I'm just like, I could have knitted cuff up, like sleeve down and done the other cuff and be done with it and have it on one continuous piece. But I actually don't mind having it in 2 pieces because this is a big boy and in 2 pieces it's actually a really good cafe knitting project. And as this can be turned inside out, I can just have the seam inside for when I attach them together. So I'm actually not fussed at all. But I do think I have figured out how people do these like boleros with the long sleeves. And now that I have the world's tiniest needles, it's actually easy for me to go cuff up. And speaking of the world's tiniest needles, yes, I do actually use my Halloween bowls and pails as project bins, so to speak. They're easy and that way they get used year round, so... But yeah, behold the world's tiniest needles. I'm just gonna do it like this, because it's a little bit easier to show this way. These are Knitpro denims. I think they're part of a set. And I think they're actually sock needles, but I find them very, very practical to knit. Arm warmers. I'm sure socks as well, but I'm not much of a sock knitter, so I mostly use these for arm warmers because I don't mind knitting arm warmers at all. And these are going to be Gandalf's arm warmers. I will have a picture up on screen. This is the picture that I found on the Weta website. Well, I found several. And the thing is, I have never actually seen these arm warmers out and about, not in geek shops, not in conventions. I wouldn't even know where to order them if I wanted to, other than from Weta, which would be unaffordably expensive with, well, for me personally, with added cost of shipping and customs. So add to that the fact that the yarn, it's, I think, don't quote me on it, a specific New Zealand breed of sheep. I will have the name up on screen. And I don't know how I will react to it because other than a few very select yarns like Langjärns Jawol, Schoppel, Zauberbal, Crazy, I'm sure Zauberbal as well, but I've had Zauberbal Crazy and Admiral Hanf and Rico, what is it called? Superba Kashmiri Sock. Potentially the words are in a different order, but that guy, it's literally just merino that doesn't give me itch or skin irritation or asthma attacks, because I figured out I am violently allergic to most alpaca yarns, depending on how they're plied, but if they're very fluffy, it's a big nope. Yeah, I decided that I was better off just knitting this myself, and just getting a lot of lang yarns. Well, a lot. I have 4 skeins, which is probably too much, but if it's too much, it's fine because I like using this lang yarns yarn anyway, and I will definitely use it up. So I got this Merino 120, and I am very responsibly actually counting the rows, so the thumb holes will be on equal height on both of them. At least that is my hope. But yeah, so I'm knitting the Gandalf arm warmers to go with this hat and my capelet. And I've got an old grey top, a long sleeve that I really, really love, that I've had for 10 plus years. And it's a bit scruffy, but Gandalf is also a bit scruffy, so that's not a problem. And then I have a grey skirt that I have made years ago, and I may have to adjust the waistband. I mean, I have enough fabric left to make a new waistband if possible, if I can't fit in it anymore. So I have, because I am a big weight fluctuator, when I made it, I did pleat in the back, so I can always extend it if necessary, and at the most need to make a new waistband. So I can adjust the skirt, and I will adjust the skirt if that turns out to be a necessity. So I have my outfit mostly sorted. I'm sure I have grey socks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. I remember seeing grey socks in my cabinet, my sock drawer, not my cabinet. And yeah, so my last work in progress project is another Ripka fishy, and this will get googly eyes. As you can see, I've finished both parts. They're clipped together. I just need to seam them now. And I used this Lang Yarns Merino 150 Dégradé to knit it. It's a pretty slow color fade, so you can see at the beginning, the more orangey brown going down, and then the back of it is pretty much just a one brown, but it's okay. I don't mind. I like how it came out, and I've added in some of this fun Hobie candy pop. That's pretty much what I use Hobie for. Like the rare times I order yarn on Hobie these days is for like fun little things like this. Also, I don't have a local yarn shop anymore, so I have now become more dependent on places like Hobie and Linde Hobby, because I literally have no local yarn shop anymore, and the nearest yarn shops, well, the nearest shops to me that sell yarn don't carry lang yarns. They don't carry, well, the Rico Kashmiri. So yeah, basically they don't really carry stuff I actually use, so there is that. Yeah, so sometimes I will buy from Linde Hobby because they do carry lang yarns, and they carry lang yarns, and also, well, Hobie, I guess. But I have decided for myself that I mean, for stuff like that, like the color pop that I just showed you, where is it again? Reach. This is like a €4 ball from Primark that I've specifically bought to be a yarn ball, and I'm like using it all the time. This is like the only time I go to Primark for Halloween stuff, or like basic tops to sleep in. But yeah, so stuff like this, and I've just decided to primarily try and buy yarn at indie dyers like the Wee Yarn Company and Nutedern and Wild Atlantic Yarns, and just have less yarn. Of course, I'm also just knitting through my stash, because like the arm warmers I just showed you, I already had that yarn. The 150 Dégradé, I already had that. Stuff like, I mean, this was gifted to me for Christmas, so I already had that. And I did buy the Fino to make like little I-cord bracelets for Bert in like the colors of his favorite anime character ever, Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. And this was also in my stash because I got that forever ago. So I did buy the Fino, but the Lang Yarns Merino 400 lace was in my stash. and the cotton was also in my stash. So most of it is stash busting project, so that's really fun. My next project, however, I did buy yarn for, but I was on Hobie, as I often am, because Hobie's discounts make it that I'm like, I favorite the yarn I would potentially want to knit with. Cat against the tripod. Okay, it's fine. So I get the yarn I will potentially want to knit with. I put it in my favorites, and I never buy it full price unless it's something like Candy Pop, which is cheap and maybe gets discounted at like Black Friday, and when Hobie wants to get rid of it, and at that point I might not even be able to get the one I want. So other than something like that, I never pay full price, because like stuff like Horizon, I don't know if Horizon asks much, but stuff like Universe Excel and Twister gets half off so often, not just those, but yeah, I've noticed that gets half off so many times. So I was just like, okay, I want to get some yarn to knit something for a friend, but my friend also has a lot of allergies. So I specifically had to look at acrylics, like soft acrylics, which Hobie does really well, and cotton. But then my friend also has like a very specific style. So of course the color changing yarn had, well, self-striping yarn, had to be within her style, obviously. And my first reaction was to look at brands like Lang Yarns and Scheepjes and stuff like that. I will have Scheepjes up on screen, because I've noticed that a lot of English yarn folks have difficulty pronouncing it. This is how you pronounce it: Scheepjes. Scheepjes means little boats in Dutch, well, little ships. So yeah, that's what it is. It has nothing to do with sheep. I can understand why people make that link the way it's written, but no, it's Scheepjes. I digress. So I was looking at Scheepjes Whirl, and they didn't have what I wanted. And then I looked at Line Yarns, and they didn't have what I wanted. And then I leafed through Linde Hobby to see if something was available that I would, that I want. And they had one yarn that was also sold on Hobie, but it was sold cheaper on Hobie. And Linde Hobby, you have to have, the threshold for free shipping is quite high. So that was not really an option. And so I had a look at Hobie, and lo and behold, one of their yarns that fit, like ticked all the boxes, was half price. So I was like, okay, good. I'm just gonna grab 2 skeins so I can do 2 different projects, and that's that. And then I was just like browsing around, because I was like, okay, it's nearly Pride. I can't find rainbow yarns other than Nina's, because she does gay AF. But then I was like thinking, I want something that is like self-striping. Because gay AF, this little I-cord bracelet is gay AF. It self-stripes nicely like this in like I-cords and chains, like crochet chains and stuff. But it's, I will have a picture up on screen of my rainbow capelet, and then you'll see what I mean. It's not like blocks of color, like rows of color. So I was browsing around, and I saw this, Sultan Cotton Kings, I believe what it's called, and it was €9.70, and normally it's €20 for a whole skein, and a whole skein makes like a shawl in cotton, which is ideal because our Pride parades, minus Brussels. Brussels is in May, but Antwerp and Liège, I'm not sure if Liège is happening this year, but Antwerp definitely is. They're in August, and it can be like a bit chilly because Belgian weather is like British weather, So I was like, it would be nice if I had like a rainbow cotton shawl, and obviously I would wear it whatever, but whenever weather permits, because cotton shawls in winter are not my friend. But yeah, so I thought this could be fun, and they have like actual rainbow as well, but I really just like the soft pastel fade, and it matches brown so nicely, so I was like, oh, I'm going to get that, and I guess this is karma, and it just serves me for shopping on Hobie. I mean, not all Hobie yarns are rubbish. I mean, Universe is fine, both the XL and the normal, it's fine. Twister is actually really nice. What else have I had from Hobie? The cottons are not the greatest, I will say that. I'm not particularly a fan of Hobie cotton. But their sock yarn's fine, really. So their Diablo's fine, bit prickly, but not loads. But it's, I mean, it's okay. It's not like Hobie is not my go-to. I mean, I have some stuff favorited there, but it's not my go-to. My go-to is, if I can afford it, to go to indie dyers like Wild Atlantic Yarns, Nutedern, or We Yarn Company, and otherwise to look at Lang Yarns. And if I want acrylic, to look at Scheepjes Color Crafter, Sagenmeier Nomota Bravo, Chunky Monkey, also by Scheepjes, so stuff like that. So Hobie is not the place I go to first. It's probably the place I go to last, but I digress. I got this, and this is not even plied. It's in theory a 4-ply. It is a 4-ply, like 4 strings in 1 strand of yarn. Yeah, no, this is literally 4 that have come separated and are hanging next to each other. And if this ever comes undone, and I pray it doesn't, I'm just gonna have to chuck it because it will never come apart again. Yeah, this is the most splitty yarn ever. It's also the most slippery yarn ever. This is no joy, but I'm going to go and I'm going to stubbornly make the shawl. I am going to do it, but I'm also going to find an elastic so it doesn't fall off. But yeah, so it is softer than their regular cotton, I will say that. I hope it will be softer if I wash it. Well, when it's finished, if I get it finished. If I get it finished and I wash it and I block it, I hope it will be softer. That's my hope. But yeah, it's 100% cotton, so it should at least block nicely. Unlike Twister, which had so much acrylic in it that I can't get the points of a Garter Abyss shawl in it. The Garter Abyss is a pattern by Stephen West, by the way, but it's really easy. It's just basically garter stitch and yarn overs, so it's very beginner friendly. But I just love it because it's got this like this bat wing shape with all the spikes, which everybody knows if they've been around here for like any amount of time, because I've knit, I think 10 plus Garter Abyss. I just love them so much. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And hopefully it will actually get finished. We'll see, we'll see. So, let me know in the comments down below, what are you working on? It does not have to be a fiber arts project. It can be like art or a book you're reading, a show you're really enjoying, you know, whatever. Just leave it in the comments down below because it's really fun for me to see all the things you're working on. It allows me to discover new artists, new patterns, new shows. Speaking of shows, I just finished Department Q on Netflix. It's a cop show. It's I think it's the English remake that Netflix did of a Scandinavian show, if I understood that correctly. And it's with Matthew Good. I quite like Matthew Good as an actor. I thought he was like really good. As... what was the character called again? He's in Watchmen. I forgot the name of the character. Ozymandias. I was just telling Bert, oh, he's a guy who plays Ozymandias in Watchmen, and now I was like, what was the character called? But yeah, he plays Ozymandias in Watchmen, and he also plays Mathieu de Clermont in A Discovery of Witches, which I also very much enjoyed. But Department Q is still very, very new. I think it came out this week. I've seen all of it. No spoilers though, but I hope it gets renewed. I definitely want to watch it again because it was so, so good. So 100% recommend if you like crime shows. It was very well set up, and it just like went along very, very well. So it was awesome. Yeah, he also played Abigail's father in Abigail, and I was just like, what? I saw him in Abigail before I saw him in A Discovery of Witches, And in Abigail, I was just like, what is this? What is this nonsense? Because everybody knows that Abigail is based on Dracula's daughter, and Abigail is Dracula's daughter. And what is it? Christophe, whatever he's pretending to be, Christophe Lazar, I think his character is called, the crime lord, as Dracula. And I was just like, this is not Dracula, this is some generic Y2K vampire. Like, this massive gripe I have with it. I was like, Matthew Good is supposed to be like this really good actor. What the hell went wrong here? And then I saw him in A Discovery of Witches, and I was like, for Pete's sake, you can play a vampire. What the heckins? Also, for people who have seen A Discovery of Witches and have read Vampire Knitting Club, did the first few episodes not give you Rafe? I mean, I was looking at it and kept thinking like, my god, this is like Rafe from the Vampire Knitting Club. And obviously, I think I'm pretty sure there is... Nobody knows about the other one I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but it just gave me that vibe. So, if you've seen the show and read the books, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? Maybe I just read too much Vampire Knitting Club, but also recommend. It's like murder mystery by a girl who's also a witch who has a bunch of vampire friends, and they have a knitting club, and she runs a knitting shop, and she can't really knit. So it's as hilariously delightful as it sounds. But yeah, so there are some recommendations on my part because I've gotten started. I was just gonna talk about Department Q, but then I went off on a tangent, and I do apologize, but hopefully you found it useful. So yeah, you saw Kiwi just like showing up, and also in that little clip of the other Ripka I forgot to mention when I was filming, they were there anyway. So a cat has made their appearance, and also I have had to refilm this so many times. I'm not going to chase after cats to bribe them with treats into being cute on camera, so the cat content has actually happened this time. There will be no announcement on screen for more cats. I'm just going to leave it at this because I still have to edit this as well, and it's already Wednesday. Oh my lord. So yeah, if you like more chaotic yarn videos like this, and I swear to you, I will film that journal flip through I keep on talking about. At this point, I have 2 full journals to film, so I need to do it. You know what? Hold me accountable. Next week, I will upload a journal flip through. If my health permits, because health goes first. So yeah. Subscribe if you want more of this whimsical, chaotic yarn nonsense, etc, etc. And hit that notification bell so YouTube hopefully actually tells you when I've uploaded a new video. Wouldn't that be grand? So yeah, now I'm really going to sign off and edit this, and hopefully nothing will have gotten corrupted or lost. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!